Hello YouTube. Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite casual food experiences in Japan, conveyor belt sushi. In Japanese, we call it Kaiten sushi. When people think of sushi, many imagine something expensive or formal, maybe a special dinner or a luxury restaurant. But for many people in Japan, sushi can actually be very ordinary. People go after work. Families go on weekends, students go after school, and sometimes people even go alone. That's one reason I think conveyor belt sushi is interesting. It makes something that feels premium feel surprisingly casual. If you visit Japan someday, there's a good chance you'll see one of these restaurants, and once you try it, you may understand a small part of everyday life here. When I was younger, conveyor belt sushi felt more exciting than it does today. Back then, the sushi actually moved around the restaurant all the time. You sat down and watched the plates pass by. If something looked good, you picked it up. There was something fun about not knowing what would come next. But recently, many restaurants have changed. Now, in a lot of places, you order directly from a tablet. You press a few buttons, wait a minute or two, and then your sushi arrives directly to your seat. It feels efficient, almost like a mix between a restaurant and technology. At first, I thought that change made the experience less interesting, but actually, I started to like it. You don't have to wait. You don't miss the food you want. And if you don't know much Japanese, many places support different languages. Another reason people like conveyor belt sushi is the price. Traditional sushi restaurants can sometimes feel intimidating. You may wonder how much the final bill will be, but conveyor belt sushi feels different. Each plate has a price, and usually you can see it clearly. That means you can enjoy eating without thinking too much, at least in theory. Personally, I often tell myself that I'll eat only 5 plates, then somehow I finish 8, and desserts, and maybe one more plate. I think many people have had that experience. One thing that surprises visitors is that sushi isn't the only thing on the menu. Of course, you can order classic things like tuna or salmon, but if you look more carefully, you'll find things that people may not expect. There are grilled dishes, fried food, ramen, dessert, sometimes even French fries. At some restaurants, it almost feels like sushi is only part of the experience. That variety is probably one reason why families like going there. Everyone can order something different. If you visit Japan and want to try conveyor belt sushi, there are a few famous places that people often choose. One of the most well known is Sushiro. If someone asked me where to go for the first time, this would probably be my recommendation. It feels modern and easy to understand. There are many menu choices, and the ordering system is simple. To me, it feels like the standard image of Japanese conveyor belt sushi. Another famous chain is Kurazushi. This one feels slightly different. One interesting feature is that after finishing your meal, you put the empty plates into a slot at your table. Sometimes you get a small animation or game. It sounds simple, but people get surprisingly excited about it, even adults. And then there's Hamazushi. This place is also very popular and feels relaxed. One thing I noticed is that people often stay calm and take their time. It doesn't feel rushed. I sometimes feel that each restaurant has a slightly different atmosphere, even though they all belong to the same category. There are also a few small things that visitors may notice. People usually don't take food that was clearly ordered by another table. Green tea is often self service, And even if you don't eat raw fish, there are usually many cooked options. So don't worry too much. My favorite thing about conveyor belt sushi is that it doesn't feel special, and I mean that in a good way. It feels normal, it feels easy. It's one of those places when people quietly enjoy food and then continue with their day. When I travel, I sometimes like visiting supermarkets because they show everyday life. I think conveyor belt sushi is similar. It's not luxury, it's not an event, but somehow it feels very Japanese. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.